Sorry, noise. Yes. See my laptop. Okay. So, a bunch of various miscellaneous things. And pictures. And just wait for the lights on too. And then various other things. Right. I was very quiet without music. I'm not playing music. I have a blog on, I don't update it very often, but I have a blog that used to be updated regularly on Blogspot. But I'm not really happy with it being there. I want something on my own website rather. So what I want to do is just some quick experiment, quick and dirty pseudo bloggy type of thing on my own website. I'm not sure. I guess we can have year/month and something like 2017. Right. And then I'm just going to do something very hacky. It's not going to be a real vlog. This isn't tricky. Why is this not always on top? I play some music, it's not really boring without music. The reason I'm not playing music is because I've set up actual loudspeakers over here again, instead of, but I used to stream like that, but the audio is not going to sound right if I play it over the speakers. It'll probably sound okay, I don't know. I could just plug in the speakers, I guess. Why is it always on top, not right? There's a new web browser called Brave. Yeah, Brave, like that. Looks like this. I literally just heard about it like 2 days ago, so I'm just trying it for the first time. I haven't heard anything about it. I know Vivaldi browser. It's still in beta, this Brave, but it's been created by somebody well known. The co-founder of Mozilla, right? Arroyo is a free and open source web browser based on Chromium and its Blink engine, announced by Brendan Eich, creator of JavaScript. I mean, that's not like, that's somebody. Brendan Eich. It claims to block website trackers and remove intrusive internet ads. It's got like a built-in web ad blocker. And some sort of tracking suppression thing. Currently in beta testing. Just been looking for alternatives to Chrome. LD browser. Use freeware cross-platform web browser. A company founded by Opera. Huh? Oh, okay. I used Opera. I think Opera. I think I've got it on here. Oh, I used to have it on here. It's not on here now. I used to use Opera, the old Opera. Funnily enough, but I didn't like where they were going with it. That's funny. Exactly like they talking about. I was like, I don't like the direction this is going. You know, the recent versions of Opera. It's going to make this font bigger, because I don't think it's very visible with my streaming settings. It's very interesting. This Brave, they're trying to build in some sort of payment system or micropayment system where browser users can like make payments to website creators or something. I don't know exactly how it works, but they're like trying to build something like that into the browser. I don't know, like if you like a website, you can tip the developer or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I just Brave payments. So they're trying to like, because the whole business model of the internet, of many of the major internet sites, is like advertising based, which comes with a whole host of problems. Like a lot of websites are basically just like tracking you. Which reminds me, I actually want to remove also some of the Google Analytics stuff from some of my sites, you know, because of the privacy concerns. But so I think like Brave wants to try move the internet sort of away from an advertising model and more towards a model where like you pay content developers or website developers more directly instead of you know, the website's being funded by advertising revenue, which in principle makes more sense to me. I mean, it in a way. I mean, sort of all the major websites. I mean, websites in general are like free to use, but nothing is free to create. I mean, it costs a lot of money and time to actually develop websites. So somehow someone has to pay. Like people have this perception that it's free, and the sort of advertising business model sort of conceals you know, that there's costs involved and payments being made to cover those costs from somewhere. Most people don't know, like 90% of people who use the web don't know the extent to which they're being tracked and how websites are being paid for development thereof. It's like not just online anymore. Like I read the other day that Google, you know they're tracking you online all over the place. But like they actually now, Google have made partnerships with like retailers and stuff in real life brick and mortar companies, where they are trading data with these companies to like match your offline purchasing habits with your online purchasing habits. So not only are they tracking you online, they're now also finding out by forming these secret partnerships with retailers. You know, they're finding out what you're buying in real life. You know, if you walk into a store and buy something with your credit card, they're now like tying that to finding out that information about you and tying it to your sort of online profile that they have of you. The best browser, in terms of what, I don't know. It depends what you judge them by. I'd say like technically, you know, Chrome is probably the best browser, but you know, Firefox, you know, they somehow lost momentum. They were really good at a stage, or they were the best, and then they lost momentum, and they, you know, in Chrome, the rise of Chrome, you know, a lot of Firefox users moved to Chrome, and at the same time, some of the major sources of revenue of the Mozilla project were cut off, so they weren't able to pay as many developers anymore, and they also, you know, tried to go in not really the right direction. So I find Firefox, you know, one of the big problems I have with Firefox, like I'm a tab hoarder, so I'll open literally like 500 tabs. No joke. I have 32 gig of RAM on the system, and on any given day, like half of that will be Chrome tabs, and like Firefox can't cope with it because of the model in Firefox is single process, and you have like a 4 gig limit per process or something like that. I don't know if they fixed that. Like, I don't know if more recent versions have fixed that now. I know they were working on it. And the other problem I have with Firefox, which is driving me crazy, but I have that problem with all the browsers. I can't seem to get a browser that just remembers the tabs you had open. Like Firefox, I keep having problems with Firefox. Occasionally it'll crash, but I always have problems with forgetting the damn tabs I had open, whether it's after an update or just randomly, whatever. It regularly forgets the tabs I had open, and like, I don't even know how that's possible, because that should be something so simple. It's not like a difficult thing to do from a programming perspective. It's like one of the most trivial things in the world, and yet none of the browsers can get that right. Just remembering the tabs you had open. Chrome is good technically, but I don't trust it from a privacy perspective. You know, it feels nice to use, it feels quick and responsive, and it can handle a lot of tabs because of the multi-process architecture. It does slow down my system a lot when I have like hundreds of tabs open. Look at all these processes. There's trillions of them. Okay, that's like the multi-process model, you know, allows it to scale arbitrarily. I can use like 20 gig, 30 gig of RAM on my system towards like browser tabs, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I have like real privacy concerns with it. I don't trust that they aren't, you know, tracking me in ways that I probably don't want to be tracked. Like Google, I'm just not a trustworthy company from the perspective of privacy. I mean. So I don't know. I don't. Opera, I didn't like the direction they were going, and I don't like the feel of it as much as Chrome. So now I'm trying out this this Brave story. Yeah, that's a very long answer, I guess, but it's a very good question. Like, Edge, Edge is another. It looks alright, it looks much better than Internet Explorer. I don't, I don't feel like I'd want to use it as my main browser for a few reasons. I don't know. It doesn't. It's encrypted text. Like, one of the privacy problems with like Google, it's not just that they track what you search for on Google search or whatever. It's so multi-level. It's actually frightening. Like, they like Google Analytics, like there's so many websites that embed Google Analytics, and they can track you from site to site, and they do but and if 80% of websites are using Google Analytics, and even if you're using and I'm at fault too, because my websites, like if you go from one of my websites to another, which I actually want to take off now, I'm going to take off this Google Analytics code. If you just go from one of my websites to another, there doesn't seem to be, well, there is actually, as YouTube videos, and there we go, and they can track you because I'm embedding YouTube videos. So it's like almost impossible to get away from. They own they own some of the major CDNs. Like people who use the Google CDNs to embed web fonts or to embed like copies of like jQuery, the CDN copies of jQuery scripts and stuff like that. So Google can track you through all these things. They have one of the biggest DNS servers on the internet. There's so many people who use Google DNS. So they can track you through DNS lookups on their DNS servers if you're using Google. They own sort of tier 1 backbone, they own ISPs, they own and they track everyone, and everything anyone does, they're tracking. Blah blah blah, blah blah 2, blah blah 1. Sorry. I don't actually know what browser. That's why I'm looking for a new browser. So I'm trying this thing. It doesn't seem to have a it doesn't have a title bar. It's a bit like I want to drag it, and I wonder if it's just like a setting. I can see the logic in it, like if you get used to it, you have more space. On the other hand, I want a settings, search tabs, blah blah blah. I just want like a normal title bar on my other windows is, so I can drag it. Anyway, okay, how the hell am I going to do this? I want to have something resembling a blog, but 2013 or 8. 2017, what am I saying? 2017 or 8. Okay, that's my problem. These aren't templatized. Yeah, I have code on like this grayscalegames.com to do this, but now it's on that website. I want to get all the websites. I want to get all my websites on like one system. You know, I have this hodgepodge, different systems. This index test. Okay, what if I put that in there? Say set base there. Okay, unintered blah 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 blah. That's nice. Now this, nothing. Thanks. Oh, thanks. I didn't think so. It was a bit of a. I'm not. I'm very happy to hear somebody thinks so. Right. How do I want to do this? I want to create something like. Well, for now, I don't even want it to be like bloggy blog. I think I just want to put a few quick and dirty articles up. As long as I'm not. I've got a. It's getting slightly old now, but it's a. I've got how many drives in here? I've got 2x4 terabyte drives plus 2 2 terabyte drives. RAID 0, is it right 10? RAID 0. Look, RAID 0. I'm I'm not sure if that's right 10. RAID 0 is basically not real RAID. It's more like it makes the drives faster, but at the expense of reliability, whereas real RAID increases reliability. Real, that's a silly word. Obviously it is RAID, but it's not redundant, I guess. It's non-redundant, it's just an array. Yeah, RAID 0. RAID 0 increases your chance of failure. RAID is supposed to increase resilience, but RAID 0 doesn't, because it basically doubles the chance of failure. Because you know, I've got 2 drives that can fail instead of 1. But yeah, so I have these several really big drives. I work a lot with a lot of video and photos and things like that. Photo shoots and backups, you know, a lot of like our company backups are like a terabyte. So you know, and that's not including my personal stuff. That's just my company backups. It's like a terabyte, and I need to have multiple backups. So I've got a lot of drive space. And like I save all these streaming videos, for example. So don't have a fancy graphics card because I don't really play games. So the integrated i7 thing is adequate for what I do. But I might buy a nice graphics card sometime, thinking about it. Especially if I'm thinking about maybe doing some 3D development, and then it would help to have something. This should actually just be Linux 2, right? I think I called it add-on. Okay. This add-on thing, what I want is something like there's an add-on called file index. And now I want to be able to do something like, say, on this page, use the file index as like the default modules default. Okay. Oh, so we need it looks for a.config.php. Okay. This is the stuff that comes from the other websites. So there's this little thing called .config.php, and I say something like, so if I want the page to basically be a file list, which is fine for now, then I'll do something like this. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna work. I hope so. File index. Okay. So I created .config that says in this folder. This is kind of like a PHP framework. And this thing looks for .config.php. If you have one, it says use this. It's like an add-on system. So we create like, it's a bit ad hoc. The idea is that you can configure the hardware. Yeah, it is nice. It's definitely nice to have a fast system. It really helps. Yeah, I love it. And I have 3 screens. I have 3 monitors here. So that also really helps. So the central screen here is what I'm streaming, and then like private stuff I can put on the other screens. Well, private, that sounds dodgy. The forgot to mention that this would be really cool for playing games, these 3 screens. If I had a fast card to drive these 3, but I really don't want to go down that like rabbit hole, because I have enough distractions that keep me out of my way. It should be a really nice setup for playing games if I had a decent graphics card. I used to play games long ago, before I started a business. Then I started a business and I never had time anymore for it. It was like, this isn't gonna work, no more games. I would like to work on games though. I'd like to program on games. So I might get a graphics card to program on games. I would rather be programming a game than playing one. I've always felt that way, in general. It's more fun to me to program a game than to play one. Like if I pick up a new game and I like it, you know, after an hour or two of whatever, or I don't know how long. Well, there are some games I've played like addictively, like Quake 3 Arena. I used to play it a lot. But in general, if I play a game for a while, then invariably I start wanting to like, I can program something with this, and then I'll start wondering, how do you program something like that? Modules. I want to test if this works. So the idea is this config.php. If you tell it that in this folder, I want to see a file listing. I have no idea if this is going to work. It'll be a miracle if it does work. Where's my... It didn't work. 2017-08. So this is supposed to include... Let me see if the canonical worked at least. The canonical there. At least the canonical is there, so at least some stuff is working. Paging equals array, then it requires this, which in turn should include .config.php, which should set pageinfo modules, which is specify I want to see a file index. Okay. Let me go check if there is a module called file index. Yes, there's a module called file index. This won't work. This... I need to check a few things here. I need to check. Config.php is actually being called, first of all. So let's dump something in error log. Config.php, and I want to see if that's actually getting called even. I don't know. Right. Yes. Okay. Module PHP includes. I think it has to do with the folders. I think it's calling include. Okay, doesn't characters. Debug. File index, right? So this configured. I think it's because it's including a folder that's supposed to be included relative to the base directory when in fact it's not. So I need to do something like this, but in front of. So there's a folder called modules, and add-ins, plugins go in the modules folder. It's a bit crude. Here on file include blah 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 blah. Still not working. And PHP, honest. What is file index? Maybe I haven't added that module because it comes from another site. Modules. Indeed, there's no modules folder at all. Isn't even one, doesn't even exist. Okay then. How is that possible? Must at least be there. Okay, put one from that folder then. Okay. Still not working. What is file index? Index of oh, there, that's the site poster. So we don't need to add it there. So now it's not working because I'm adding it twice. So in fact that was correct the first time. Yeah. Okay. And there we go. So my fix actually broke it. Because, yeah. That's still not right. It's supposed to do directory listing, but the HTML files are not shown there. So now it's calling file index.php, but it's not finding any files. And I have a feeling I know why. There's a thing that builds the file listing. It needs the base there. There we go. But now we have a problem. We don't want to see PHP files there. There's two ways I can solve that. There's three ways I can solve that. I could add a config parameter, like exclude filters and include filters or something like that. And there is a mechanism for me to add parameters to modules via the JSON parameters thing in this architecture. Yeah, the module can have. Oh no, wait, that's not right. That's different. That's something else. Parameters equals JSON parameters. I could add something there. It would be trivial to add something, and that would be the right way to do it. Like over here, there should be something like a module instance should have configuration. Configuration should say exclude PHP files. There's a second way to do it, and that's a bit of a hack. It's a hack, but it'll work, and I might just do it because it's simpler and quicker. Instead of calling this file, I'm already hiding files that start with dot, which is the Unix convention for hidden files. And so I could just call this file dot new index test.php, then update htaccess to look for a dot new index test.php in the folder, and voila. It's not the right solution, but I just want to get this done. I don't quick and dirty thing that works. Okay, so we have an index. Okay. And now I want to be able to templatize the HTML files. When you look at .html, oh, this is a problem. This I can't do without. Oh dear. There's another way to do this in htaccess, but it's gross. That's not correct. But I can do it for now. I've got a better way to do it on grayscalegames.com. What I want to do is have it at HTML, but I don't want to put the template in the .html. I just want the site to automatically. I just want to say something like, you know, in a little HTML, and all the site headers and stuff must just automatically be added around it. And instead of using this, I could do something like this. I could use a rewrite rule. Instead of putting that there, I could say if it starts with blog/2017/something.html, blog dot plus.html, then do /index, right? This is really not obvious what's happening here. It only makes sense if you actually watch the stream where I set up the system. File index 2.php. Just like that. Okay, we take that out of there. Like it was. Hey, it worked! Surprise! Okay. Notice how surprised I was that worked. But all the styling is not working for some reason. But the templating worked. That's the idea. But I think the styling not being right is probably something simple, like all the images being relative or something weird. Let me just check. Oh, no, wait, the styling is probably themes header.php contender styles.css. It's failing to set up contender, and there's a way I can fix that. Let's contender. What's the right way to do this? To put this in that. It's not that fast. I think it's 1600 or what is it? 1600. Does that make sense? Let me just check. I'm pretty sure it's 1600. Okay, so it's not like fast memory. It's just it was, you know, there was a cost. It was a, you know, I could not afford 32 gig of the faster memory. With the budget I had. What's that? This doesn't tell me the speed of the memory. System's actually overclocked now, but it doesn't feel very fast because I have a million Chrome tabs open. Version of, memory. Jumping into what? Huh? $67 megahertz, does that make sense? And, 666. Yeah, 1600. I don't really know much about RAM timings, I must be honest. I don't actually know what all this stuff means. Anyway. Not really hard. I probably should, but I don't. This must go down. I have to get, I think I want to do this. There we go. Okay, now we got all this junk stuck on the bottom. I want to just change this a bit because while I'm there. Content is nav. Live coding channel. Stream. And Twitch. Stream links. I've got very hard dropped frames, don't I? And I think I know why. I forgot something open here. Sorry, should improve the stream slightly. Hopefully. Let's see. Should be better. No, slightly better. Oops. Open Twitch. I have a no, it was one of the. It's a video stream, basically. Video stream. And it's, yeah, it's sorted. Okay, this header is going to become a bit. Yeah, that makes no sense. The stream. It looks stupid. How do I fix that? I want to when it's well, first I have to do that. Might look slightly less stupid. It looks slightly less stupid, but it still looks a little bit stupid. My upload bitrate. Yeah, it's a long story. Basically, yeah, basically, the video upload bitrate is about 640. Audio, I think, is 96. Let me just check. Yeah, it's 640 and 96. I have it, yeah. I've played around with, yeah. If I set it much higher than that, I start getting severe dropped frames and other buffer bloat issues. If I set it much any lower than that, it just looks too crap. So that's kind of like the sort of sweet spot where it looks bad and my internet sucks. But it's about, yeah, I can't do much better than that. If I set it even like 680, I start getting heavy drop frames. And there's nothing I can do about it because it's, you know, the only thing I can do about it is literally upgrade to a different type of internet. And the only type of internet that's faster, yeah, is, but it's very expensive, and I don't even know if it would work, is there's one of our mobile providers. I would have to use some sort of mobile thing, and I suspect the upload might be better, but I suspect it's gonna have variability issues. That's normally what happens if I've tried streaming on a mobile before, and like the ADSL liner, like at least, you know, it's very low bandwidth, but it's quite consistent. Like, you know, I know what I'm getting, and I get that. But like if I stream on mobile, like, but I have very bad reception here in the office for mobile. I can't stream on the mobile that I have. But there's a different provider that I think has better bandwidth, but they're very expensive. But the other problem when I stream on mobile, like 3G, is while they tend to get better speeds, it goes up and down the whole time, like much worse. And then it'll be like bad for a few minutes, or then it'll be okay, and then it'll be bad again, and then okay. And I think that's a combination of like interference or other people doing things. I don't know, but it's just not as solid, so to speak. And that's it. This is like the bottom of Africa. Although that's not the reason. The reason is that we have like a government-protected cartel. They're starting to roll out fiber here, so there's a few select areas that have fiber, but it's not available yet in where I live. But as soon as it's available, I'm going to get fiber. As soon as it's available at my house, yeah, I will upgrade to fiber, and then I should be able to stream with a much better quality. So I'm waiting for that day. Guys who have fiber here have quite good speeds, because we do actually have there's several big fiber optic cables that are underutilized, coming out of South Africa. But yeah, I mean, it's never going to be like, one has to be realistic. The other thing is that I do have a little bit of control over, but is the ISP, and it does seem to make a little bit of difference, but not a big difference, is that this is a shaped line, and I have a separate account which is unshaped, but my bandwidth allocation for the month has already run out on that. Yeah, literally I'm streaming about, you can't really go faster than that. I mean, there's a little bit of, okay, there's like a Facebook tab open somewhere, or some embedded Facebook something. It's wasting a little bit of bandwidth. I could close a few windows, and it would probably help, closing some of these tabs. But it's not going to help a lot. Like, it's a small percentage of the bandwidth going to. I know there's people who come into my stream sometimes and they say, "No, but the quality of your stream is terrible. Set your settings better." But I've now, I've run out of room. In the beginning, they had valid points, and they would be like, improve that setting, and I'll be like, okay, and they'll be like, that's better now. But I've more or less optimized the settings now. I've run out of settings to tweak. Yeah. Okay. This is the most amazing, powerful blog software ever written. This is not even a blog, it's like a few directories and some HTML files. Blog. I don't know what makes a blog a blog. It's a weird concept. I don't even know if I want to structure things like this, because it doesn't really make sense. Like, what is a blog? It's just articles. So why not call it articles? Like, these are the articles I've written. Like, conceptually, it makes more sense for me to say something like, have a articles folder. I mean, a blog is a bunch of articles that are chronologically ordered. Okay, the date is important. And what else? There's software formats and software platforms that make it easier to establish them. Other than that, so like on my current blogspot.com, which I want to move all my blogspot.coms, because I've got a bunch of articles on art, right? So it's weird for me, like, now I want to take all these articles on art, okay, and move them to my website, because I'm tired of like helping other people's platforms. I'm helping Google's, sort of business by posting my stuff on there. I'm a bit annoyed with Google because I think I'm like shadow banned by them. That's why I'm getting very annoyed with Google. I think Google have like shadow banned me and put me in some kind of black hole list where, I think my website's being, it's a long story. Anyway. So yeah, and I want to move off their platform, because Google own Blogspot. I don't know if that's common knowledge. Google own YouTube, but Google own Blogspot. But like, I have a bunch of articles on art, and they're like, why should I put them in a folder called blog? I mean, they come from my blog, okay. But why not just have a folder called articles? Or it should be art/articles. Oh, articles on, I mean, it's just articles. Which project? Yeah, I have lots of projects. The one I'm working on now. I'm not even working on a project really. I suppose my website is a project. I'm trying to decide. I've got articles on art on my blog, so I want to move them to my website. But I'm wondering why I put them in a folder called blog. Why not just make a folder called articles? Like, what's so special about that? I mean, what does that even mean? The blog, I think. Yeah, I think I should move away from that. I do want to have just a blog where I talk nonsense, like make random comments that a blog like. The thing about categorization systems is that there's a degree of arbitrariness. Like, a lot of things belong to more than one category. So is this a blog article or is it an art article? Well, it's both. So like, there's a little bit of arbitrariness. The whole thing is a bit weird. I haven't really thought it through, and I don't know what direction it's going. Right, the stuff I'm working on right now is not going very well because I'm talking too much. Talking too much and working too little. This Twitch thing I want to put there. Nothing makes sense here anymore, and I don't know Hello. I'm not working on anything particularly exciting right now. I'm just working on various things, chipping away a little at my website, so don't expect exciting stuff. Just RU space. Where is I seem to have lost that window. Okay. I'm working on something, various things. I'm just paralyzed with indecision. Like, that nudity is artistic nudity, that's a painting. Only blog. I actually have a blog. The yeah, I don't want it to anymore. That's the basic idea. So, and blogs are weird. They feel like old-fashioned somehow. But I don't know. Are they still relevant? Do people read blogs? I don't know. I don't really read them anymore, but the types of blog articles I write, it's like I didn't like every day try, I don't want to. I try to focus on quality over quantity. Like, I'd rather have one article a year and try make it a good quality article that sort of has something that at least makes sense. So it's not a busy blog, it's and it's interesting. I read once that the search engines for the blogs, Google own Blogger as well, and the search engine for the blogs actually specifically downrank sites that, or they basically it's skewed towards sites that are producing like a certain number of words per article, and it's this very weird system that focuses on creating noise and churn and rather than quality. I guess that describes the whole internet though. Like, how many articles I've done are moving? Not a lot. There aren't a lot on the site. The most important ones I want to move are the art-related ones. There's a series of. The rest can actually stay there. I don't care. Well, yeah, there's a few others that I may want to move. Yeah, but initially I want to move the art ones. I guess some things are not full articles. I'm trying to, in my mind, figure out the difference between a blog article and just an article. Like, what makes that? Like, I suppose this is a blog article because it's kind of a response to some current event or some article that I'm responding to, rather than I want them to be standalone things, like, you know, okay, this is my philosophy on art or whatever, boom, encapsulated in these articles. But for now, I just want to set up something very basic. I've got this like little framework, basically PHP framework that yeah, I don't want to be penalized. You can be penalized for the search engines if you have an article both like on Blogspot and then you put that same article on your website. I think they can actually penalize you for that because like you're trying to copy content. But I think if I use canonical tags, canonical, to say, well, this is the, you know, if I make a canonical tag that points to the Blogspot article, then I think it should be okay. But I could have done this silly thing that I don't agree with. Depending what country you're in, it redirects you to like if you at blogspot.com and you view a blog, and you're in South Africa, and then it redirects you to .co.za, which is, I really don't like the way it does that. Yeah. No, I'm slightly joking. I'm half joking. I'm doing some coding. The configure.php, right, to set up a file access for the basic folder. Very simple configure.php, and a simple but new index.txt. This, I don't think is even used anymore because I replaced, oh, but this has to be used. We have to use this because, and we don't. We can do this, we move this into here. If, this array, I think this should get rid of that. I mean, get rid of this file. That's, yes, actually. I'm gonna get rid of this file, we don't need it at all. Okay. Then replace it entirely with this htaccess for now. This rewrite rule. This rewrite rule, I think, should probably be temporary transition thing, and could probably go once we move to a system on the one I have. It's all very convoluted, this whole thing. It's very a little bit convoluted to explain. The basic idea is to have one sort of main PHP file that drives templatization across the entire site, or at least maybe not the entire site, but you could configure a part of the site to not use templatization if you wanted to, but still within the framework of that system. Could you? Yeah, yes, that's the idea. So there's this generic, I don't even know what to call it, file index. File index 2 should be renamed index framework or something like that. Index framework new. File index, that's a really bad name. It's like the index file that drives the whole site templatization, or should. Trust me, there's a lot of things I want to rant about. So rename index 2. I want to rename file index 2 to, I'm going to keep it, but I want to call it index framework, I guess. It's basically a new framework architecture that's experimental, and it's the index.php because it's going to drive, it should eventually drive all the pages that are generated off the site. And then, yeah, okay. Rename, I don't know if you can rename and modify at the same time, I think so. On these two, we're going to call index framework underscore framework new. I don't want to call it framework new because that's horrible. But index framework. It should actually just be called index.php, to be honest. But oh, what about DJ framework? Oh, index framework, because it's like index.php, except, and that's the job it's doing. It's doing the job that index.php normally does. Is that right? Yes. Why framework? That's weird. Anyway, it's not. Yeah, it's. I can always rename it again later. I rename it now. Index framework. Okay. It's better than file index 2, but file index 2 are our old name. That makes much more sense. Index framework. Okay. Then the htaccess must also change. Wherever it says file index 2, should change to index framework. Okay. And this, I'm going to get rid of as well. New index test from the new folder, because it's obsolete. We're going to create a config.php part of the new system, which is this. Page info must be declared as an array in. Yes, this is good. I like that. Okay. As it. Do we even have to do this? PHP does it for us. Why do that? Page info equals array. I don't know. Okay. So we're going to do something like that, and then we're going to get rid of this file, which was supposed to be temporary anyway. So we're going to, yes, I like this, really like this. I think I like it. I'll change my mind later and start not liking it, but for now. Now I'm going to like it. So we can actually revert and delete. Revert. Okay, and delete. It's in my source control, everything is in sub. And then we're going to set up a rewrite rule for that. We're going to take this out of there. Let's just PHP instead. Create a rewrite rule for that folder. Does this make sense? Yeah. Star slash init framework PHP. So basically we're saying that, so these are temporary until we get the whole site onto the system. We're going to specify in htaccess that just these sites, these subpages on the site, the blog and the new thing, are generated using this new experimental framework file. Based on index. Okay. Let's test that. Right. That works, eh? Files. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, use this. I like this. I like this. I'm still a bit iffy about having a blog. Anyway, let's. I guess I can. If I can just stop updating it, I suppose. If I change my mind. Okay. And voila, it works. Yeah, that's absolutely. I didn't want to use htaccess rewrite rule, but actually, it's a better way to go than what I was doing. This funny workaround file. Yeah, much. So the comments that were in, I just leave that file open. Okay. At that point, then, okay, delete these rewrite rules and replace the direction index line with one that just says direction index slash index of the PHP. I'm really going all in on this thing. I don't know if it's good or bad. I guess I need something like this. So, I mean, it's a far cry from like. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should open source this PHP framework and create yet another PHP framework. Add it to GitHub. So call it yet another PHP framework. There's probably already something called yet another PHP framework. Next is oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'll keep saving. Do you have any upcoming projects? New projects? It's more like I'm just streaming little bits of progress on them. Let me see if this name is taken. Yet another PHP framework. Have you seen my project list? There's lots of things on there I'm busy working on. Yet another PHP framework. Yet another framework. Yeah, another framework. What about still yet another PHP framework? That is going to be the name of my PHP framework. Yeah, I like that name. I really like it. Still yet another PHP framework. Have you? I don't know if you've. Yeah, basically, there is one new thing I want to start, but no problem. Yeah. Yeah. Mentioning C++. That's a very short and quick summary of the main things I'm working on. But I just kind of stream, bits and pieces of work I do on them. Oh. Oh, thanks. I don't know. I don't know about that. It's a lot of work though. I hope it's not like bad. Yeah, I just don't want it to be bad. That's all. I don't know if it's good or bad. Like I do wonder. Like I've seen. Yeah, I mean, some people like it and some people don't. So I guess I think the people who don't understand it's basically a retro game. Like maybe used to big proper 3D games might not really get it. What am I looking for here? index framework. I'm going to delete that index test. And then I'm going to add something. I don't even know what to call these files because they shouldn't actually be .html files. They should be generated from a database. We should have a blog article database, but some scheme, I think. If I look at Blogspot, what do they do? They have that word separated by dashes .html. That seems like a fair scheme. So I could have something like first post .html. Okay, that's terrible. That's the worst thing ever. Okay. My first blog post. It's not my first blog post, obviously not. On this new one, but this is not. This is like my third or fourth blog. I've had several blogs before. I've had blogs that I've took down over the years because when I was younger, I had a blog like 10 years ago plus. As you get older, and you start to look at the things you wrote when you're younger, and you're like, geez, did I say such stupid things? And then some of the articles I didn't like, so I ended up taking the whole thing down. I guess your views evolve as you get older. So yeah, what am I saying? 20th August. Okay, first post. Let's start with first post. Okay, that is best blog article ever written. My first post. Yeah, I think I should just say not my first post. That is a slash dot meme. Okay. That is really the peak of intellectual blog article writing. I should at least say something more than that. Let's put it up. Now I need to link to it. And like the navigation mechanism for this is going to be terrible. Like blog. 8. I mean, that's shocking. First post. Right. The layout looks a little bit weird. And the date shouldn't really be in there like that, I guess. I don't know. How does it look? You have the heading and the date separately. Yeah. I think there's a meta tag to mark the date to date. First post. First blog post. Let's I should title it best blog post ever written. Let's just leave it. I just want to get this system up. That's the idea. And I have like a bunch of other things to move on to. I need to set up a redirect on another site. Yeah, I have various other things I need to do. Right. It's already like 3 AM. Yeah. Blog. Definitely needs a little work. And it needs to be like, I don't know, some way to see like the actual index for the month should show you all the posts for that month or something. Forest Online, that's a long story. The problem with that now is, oh, that's a very long story. I'm still working on part of it, but can't stream that. Not very sure most this. It's a very long story. I don't even. Yeah, but basically the code base of the site, not proprietary. Yeah, another company. At this point, the sort of IP. Yeah. So I can't stream it. It's, so I wish I could stream it. It's actually very interesting work. It's Node.js. You know, it's my first. Yeah, it's the first time I worked on Node.js. I wish I could stream it, but it's not my say. So. Okay, now if I upload this, before I do that, okay, let's store this in, and best blog ever. Technically, I just created the blog software, but no, that's really like. That line is actually redundant. I mean, not that line. This little piece can go, and those brackets can go, because anything under block can actually be generated. What if it put off the? Yeah, that's correct. Okay, it's 2017/08. First post. Alright, 20th August. That day should not be on top of the heading. So I can simplify that XXS file a little. Okay. Oh, I know what, because the modules folder, all modules folder needs to go up. So long story short, okay, the page is generated by this new thing called index framework, and this has a add-on architecture, and the add-ons can do anything you want. It's like an extendable system. They're basically configurable PHP bits of PHP code. So then so one of them is to generate a file listing. Very simple. Okay. And then you can configure different parts of your site, of the site, to use different add-ons as like the so you can configure like a different part of the site to be using this .config.php. So for now, this .config.php in this folder. Where is new blog? New blog. Yet another David Joshua blog. I don't know. Yeah, this is my blog. Okay. Anyway, keywords. In that config.php specifies one or more of the add-ons to use for that folder. So like you could have a game as an add-on on one section of your website, and then the add-on, the .config.php, could point to the module for the game. So it's like I'm reinventing the wheel that a lot of these other frameworks. First, this should be able to disappear. Like that folder. Like this doesn't make sense anymore. Like games. That I look in channel. I also want to change. That is a painting. So that nudity that you see there is artistic nudity. If that okay, there we go. What makes live stream? Twitch or YouTube. There's an extra black bracket going around there. Maybe we get somewhere actually. Okay. No. Page. Yeah. Like the stuff that's mine, like I know is copyright or mine, blah blah blah, or like all the signage stuff. Like I can decide which is cool. Like so that's really nice. So yeah, yeah. If there's something that's confidential or some yeah, that's a long story. I'm almost finished though, Nukem version 1. Well, yeah, I'm glad somebody enjoys watching that. The yeah, there's a few things I'm like slightly itching to do. I don't know if that's like that I want to do for like just a version 2. But yeah, version 1 I'm really nearly finished. I want to it's mostly sprite work and testing that's left now. So there's very little coding left. Most work that remains is like testing and level development and just finalizing the sprites. I want to maybe make like Debian packages. I really want to make Debian packages or Arch Linux packages or package descriptor thingies files for that. I did this slightly hacky thick style in the header, but it's kind of gross. These that Twitch or Twitch for YouTube. Alternatively Twitch for YouTube. That is a bit weird in the heading, isn't it? Live stream. I don't know if that should be like a new line, new live stream. I think so. Maybe a new line. Still part of the nav, but maybe separate. Where is it gone? Oh. That's maybe miscellanous. Oh, and it's still part of the nav. Nav, the new HTML. Text lines center. Boom. That doesn't look right. Right. I'm really tired, so I might be doing like things that are not really a little bit not very good quality right now. Left control these mid dots between. No mid dots between. Because these are brackets. And then I also want to have something like this whole thing is weird, because I have two small open source games. Actually, one is open source. Yeah, this was binary only. But those are at some point I put them on a separate website. It's grayscalegames.com. And my idea was I wanted to write a whole bunch of games and maybe sell some. You know what I mean? Like to have a mix of free and commercial games. And that stagnated. So now I've got a separate website, Grayscale Games, where I just have these two games. Boom. One is open source and the other is just free, simple, stupid Tetris. Well, it's not stupid, it's quite nice Tetris, but I can't call it Tetris because copyright issues. It's not Tetris, it's just something that happens to kind of seem similar to Tetris, but it's nothing at all to do with Tetris. It's totally unrelated to Tetris. But anyway, yeah, the soccer one is fine. There's no copyright issues there. That's but yeah. Now, while I created this, I'd abandoned Dave Newcomb and had nothing to do with it. So somebody else who was maintaining Dave Newcomb ended up posting a project page on SourceForge. And then I didn't want that on SourceForge anymore, so the other day I moved it to my website, djogger.com/Newcomb. But now I've got this, if you go to my website and it says games in the header, the biggest one is Dave Newcomb, and it doesn't take you there because it takes you to this grayscalegames.com, and there it isn't. But I don't feel like it belongs here, so I actually don't know where to put it. I'm just I don't know. I have no idea where that's going. It doesn't belong there. But now really don't know exactly what's the right answer there. I sort of want to take the Twitter link off. Actually, no, I mustn't take the Twitter link off. But Twitter link belongs, these links belong probably with this stuff. The main thing I want, yeah, well, one of the main things. A long story, yeah. But yeah, other than that, there's a few other small things. But it won't be dramatically different, I think. Version 3 can be dramatically different. I don't want to do anything dramatic there. Because it's really a lot of work. One, two, okay. I'm gonna make these there, and okay, now I've got two blogs, old blog and new blog, blog and new blog, and blog, new blog. I think that first post should have a link. Oops, /a. Okay. And in heading, I want to have like why is the styling different? Because that's actually key, I suppose. These are social media links. Okay, so I shall categorize them all together. Okay, they conceptually belong probably more closely with these live stream ones. And this should go games, programs, it's a game. Basically games. There's one game. I don't even know what to say yet. Maybe it'll all make sense in a few years. What I actually think would make sense, I've been thinking about this, is to combine all the several sites into one. Yeah, Oops. I'm really listed to start a new project. I'm really like, I want to start a new project. Long story short, yeah, in the last stream I implemented a large gameplay import area for the system, but I can't really use it in version 1 because I'm not the spirit of the original version 1. Yeah, I'm in the mode that I must finish that, finish it. Yes, games can get a program. I don't know what to say. The problem is that I've actually categorized it as a cheat because it gives you an advantage. So I don't know exactly, it's a bit weird, but it gives you an advantage over the smaller gameplay viewpoint. And if it's just an option, then it's like people will basically be forced to play the easier way, and then it won't be like Duke Nukem 1 anymore. It becomes very different to Duke Nukem 1. And I specifically want it to be like Duke Nukem 1. So even just having an option isn't quite right. But, you know, version 2 can maybe have an option, but it should be, I think, the default, because I think version 2 I want to break away from the constraint that it must be that much similar to the original. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. But I don't know why such small decisions seem so complex. Okay, the top heading should probably also be around center. That looks weird, like center aligned. Not sure it should be. Just a lot of links going on there now in the notebook. I don't know how it's going to look on mobile. Why is this thing in a separate window now? Oh, because I'm in a different browser. Chrome. Boom. No, that's not right. Okay. Toggle device toolbar. If I toggle the device toolbar, then suddenly this is something else I want to change. Sure, there's a lot of things I want to change. That just looks like a dog's breakfast. There's so many links and clutter. I don't think anyone clicked on them anyway. Right, I'm going to leave it like that for now. It's like a dog's breakfast. Just like the worst, worst blog ever. Honestly, though. This is definitely the worst blog ever. Okay, themes. I'll improve it later. Yeah, but it'll be slightly better once I have a few articles. But like you click new blog, okay, and you do get like a directory listing. You have to click 2017 August. Maybe I should link to at least August for now. I don't know. Let's play. Yeah, no, that's really not right. What the main slash blog should do is I don't know, show that like the most recent 10 articles or something, I guess. But I can do that later. Look at those changes. Oh, and there's something else that can go now. This file. Finding stereo PHP on the server. Maybe people won't like the big viewport. I don't know. Maybe they will like the way it looks now. Maybe I should do some usability feedback. Get some feedback from real users. I don't know. Say some blah 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 blah. I don't have no chance. Oops. No. I don't add modules because it's presently an exact copy, and I want to try to keep it like that. The one on Grey Sky Games. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do. Maybe I'm worrying too much about it. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Basically, yeah. So the idea is this index framework of PHP should ultimately do very little. It should just, do some stuff to determine the folder of the URL. There's the basic add-on architecture, a few helpers. This stuff shouldn't do. This is based on older version. Some basic templatization stuff. And it's questionable whether this even belongs in your... Like, what if you want to have different templatization configurations for different parts of your website? Then Actually, this doesn't make sense. Yeah. So I think this sort of the default templatization of the site should maybe be almost like an add-on in a way. No, it doesn't make sense. What does it? Or the .config.php should specify the templatization as an add-on, or perhaps, perhaps the modules. Perhaps it should be a module. Like, so we treat this like, if you imagine this is an array of. So a page consists of a header, template header, and then the page content, and then the footer. So if we imagine the whole page as being, no, but that's not right. Because we want to be able to handle, like I'm thinking that could be an add-on called the header, and then the footer could be an add-on. Footer. So your page is a header, a file index in this case, and a footer. Those are special add-ons. Why not a hierarchy? Why not a tree of sort of modules that you can just make a little hierarchy? I don't know. I don't know if the header makes sense, because you might. What if you have a page? What if you have a page that's just like supposed to send a PDF to the user? Then the index framework, which currently generates does it? Yeah. Visual PHP. That's not used. It's used by the others. That's a slightly older system. But these, the headers that you send might have to be different if you're generating JSON as a response or PDF. Like some of our other sites, for example, miscellanous. PDF sometimes, and then bright colors. Yeah, these are the default colors of the editor, EM editor. I don't always like bright colors in my code syntax though. Always just wondering what projects do you work on? Have you got videos? Let's see what Jack Perry does. Premiere, here's Jack. This is slightly confusing. It looks like you have premium projects. Anyway, videos, Perry. No videos. What? Projects. Yeah. Follow. There it is. Serbia. Okay. System. Yeah. Okay. So if you have an add-on, say, that sends a PDF, then all the normal template stuff shouldn't happen. I'm just thinking about all this in my mind, because what happens is we've got all these different websites, Swanage.com, which has its own architecture, and djockey.com, and GrowSecond. They've all got slightly different architectures. The online Afrikaans dictionary, that Longman hat. They're all slightly different variations of this PHP system that keeps evolving. And I want to kind of bring all the capabilities of all these different websites into one single PHP framework. That's what I want to do. I want to make like one PHP framework that has the sort of all the functionality I need to make all these different websites. I don't know if that's a stupid idea, but that's what I'm kind of aiming at in my mind. So, like, there are things that the Longman Hut one can do that my personal sites can't do, and there are things the personal sites can do that, like, the commercial one can't really do. And I want to like convert everything ideally to sort of one platform. I don't know if that's a really bad idea or a really good idea. Maybe I should just, like, if it's a bad move, I suppose, then I have a hell of a lot of, but I mean, it can't be worse than what I have now, which is a hodgepodge of different versions of essentially different frameworks. Or maybe I should just recode all the sites in Node.js. Or maybe I should stop reinventing the wheel and just grab some off-the-shelf PHP framework. What do I want to do? I must create a redirect page on before I forget. This is an old site that we did long ago, where it lists here today. That site is now defunct. Really, it's been obsoleted by the new site. So I need to replace this site with a link or uplink or redirect to the new site. I can either use a htaccess redirect or HTML redirect. HTML redirects are not considered. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do, for now, an HTML redirect. And then change it in a few weeks. Once, because there's something I need to fix on the target site first. Okay. Yeah, let's be sad that this website is done and dusted, unfortunately, but at least it's one less website to maintain on my list. Security fix, that seems to be implemented. Okay, now this whole site should be replaced by okay, not the whole site. Okay. I think I'm just going to say this. Can this be that old? Oh no, the original year of this was 2003 April. That's right. Okay. This is basically going to be why not? The new stuff doesn't. It redirects you, but it didn't redirect you to the home page. That's what I want you to fix first. Instead of to the site itself, if you're not logged in. Header. Is that right? Sorry. Head. Yeah. Oh, that's wrong. I don't know. Okay, header. Head. Okay. HTML. This is now heavily Afrikaans, and my Afrikaans isn't good enough to let me think. Hierdie webwerf uitgeskryf. Nee. Hierdie webwerf Nederlands. Yeah. I want to say this website has now moved. Let's keep it very simple. I'm going to try and make it the more chance I've made mistakes. Oh, mosquito. Sorry. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, pronounce a very list. The new Afrikaans word list and spelling rules. I work with a lot of different languages. We're doing a Xhosa dictionary, we've done Swahili dictionary, done worked with Zulu, Northern Sotho. We have clients, one of our clients is in Catalan. I work a lot with Afrikaans, so that's probably the most Afrikaans. Geneva 2020 Afrikaans word list and spelling rules. is nu hier nou. You know, I can speak Afrikaans, but as a second language speaker. And now, here's the thing, this is literally the official website of the Afrikaans. It's the language commission, the language body that publishes, literally, I can't make a mistake here. Maybe I shouldn't even try. Like, they literally publish, this is the official Afrikaans spelling rules. So if I get even one little pixel wrong with the Afrikaans, it looks, way too bad. I don't think I should even try this. I think I should just ask them and make a if it was just any old website, okay, maybe I could afford to make a mistake, but they will really let me put a spelling error on the official page like this. This is the old official page. I must now move to the new one. Point to the new one. The new one. 2017 Afrikaans word license van Nederlands is nou hier. It doesn't. Oh. I don't think it's wrong, but I also don't think it's how a mother tongue speaker would speak. That's not how they would say it. They would say something else. It's technically correct what I've written. But I don't think the style is right. It sounds like an English person trying to speak Afrikaans rather than. It's whatever I write, it's going to be wrong. Anyway, let me. Let's see if I can find some other examples. Mosquitoes bitten me. Feels like it. Starting to get hungry. The new website is now. I must make a redirect. I must take away this because I must just write something like no, that's also weird. What if I write this wrong? No. Maybe I should just do HTTP redirect. Like, so there's a, how do you do a redirect header? Location, something like that. If you just header, get p redirect. I think it is header location. Let me just do it like that for now. Don't worry about the target site another day. I can't sit here forever trying to get it perfect. Yeah, just like that. Boom. And not even this wrong one, let's get rid of it. Let's just do that and stop worrying about it. Okay. Looks right. So where is the folder? That's weird. Let me look again. I'm just not seeing it somehow. It should be folder, yeah? Maybe I just as a subsite under www. Oh, how about that? That's not very good. Anyway, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore at all. This is totally, almost totally different now. Where remains. Sometimes something sets on your to-do list long enough that it doesn't matter anymore. Okay. Just index to PHP. And voila. Okay. And this one here, it tests all that. Yeah, that's good. Okay. What's the next thing on the list? I wanted to mess around. What is it now? Sunday, 4 a.m. Screen might get a little choppy. Just doing something. Delete. Okay, I'm gonna pause the stream a bit. Or maybe not. Pause the stream. I'll be back late.